Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 89 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series, where today I want to shift gears a little bit. So last few episodes we were working on bees, and things are going pretty good there. To the tune of I've already got one bee that is meta-ernal. Hey, so leaving them outside definitely worked, because my ender bee is now meta-ernal. I haven't actually checked on my other bees lately, so I should go check on them with you guys now on camera. But then we're going to switch gears. We're going to step away from bees for a minute. So if you're like, oh, I don't like bees, Direwolf, don't go away. We're not doing bees all episode. We're just looking at them for a second, I promise. So you're nocturnal still, but you do have a tolerance to rain, so that's cool. I did make a new iron bee, and you're meta-ernal. Sweet! We've got another meta-ernal bee. Awesome. Right. So Iron Bee is now meta-ernal. Cool. And a weather tolerance to rain as well. So that's sweet. So that's done. And then let's check this bad boy out. Lapis Bee is also meta-ernal. Sweet. So now all I'm waiting on is Cree Bee to be all cool and not nocturnal only. Now, in fairness, if I got a little lucky with my breeding, I might be able to get bees that are meta-ernal, because like I have to breed that Cree bee with something else, right? Like whatever it was. So I'm gonna leave them out there for a little bit, see how it goes, and if it doesn't go, maybe I'll rely on breeding, because like, you know, one of the parents will be meta-ernal, so I'm hoping that means that, you know, that bee will, whatever, we'll figure it out. Anyway, what do I want to do today? What I want to do today is I have an idea for something a little bit different than what I normally do. A little bit. My first thought is for Digital Miner. Hey, you. Can you respond to a redstone signal? You can. All right, normal. All right, sweet. So if I did this, and I did that, and I did this, and I did that, and then I gave you some power by way of Flux Networks. Okay, and we hit start on you. You ain't doing nothing? Oh, cool. Until I hit this lever. And now you're doing stuff. And now I turn off the lever. And now you're... Okay, cool. I like this. I like this plan. Alright, so this should work the way I want it to. So I have ideas. Thoughts and ideas coming to you courtesy of Direwolf20. I've removed my evoker, because we have enough emeralds for now, I suspect. And I threw Enderman in here. So, yoinks. You'll also notice that I've raised the height of this thing, literally cut and paste the ceiling. So I literally cut the ceiling, and then added 2 layers, and then pasted it back down. And it works really well. And we're getting all kinds of loots by way of ender pearls and endery things and whatnot, and I'm very excited about that. And while I was looking at that, it occurred to me 2 things. One, we're doing okay with these, right? Like, I got these guys to the point where they're doing productivity gamma and productivity gammas. So they're doing okay. And I can sleep through the night. And soon we'll have meta-ernal bees, which will mean they'll produce all night in addition to all day, which will kind of double their output, but still not, like, not quite fast enough is where I've settled down on this thing. Now, I could absolutely just make more bees. I know that I can make more bees. But from a YouTube content production standpoint, I basically have, you know, the option A is just to redo the content that I've already done. You guys get to watch me do it again, which I feel like is boring. Or I could absolutely just like, hey, let's do something new. So we're going to do something new. Over here, things are going well, by the way. You can see, like, you know, we have a little antimatter coming in. Not quite a bucket yet, but, you know, not even quite a quarter of the way towards a bucket. But we occasionally have fissile fuel showing up. We occasionally have uranium showing up over here. Our current bottleneck is more uranium than fluorite. But I think once we sort out the uranium issues, we will probably... That may not be the case anymore. So how am I going to do that? So I figured let's take a look at stab at new mod. I want to today take a look at RF Tools Dimensions. This is usually where I go once we get to this point in the series, because RF Tools Dimensions is really cool and really powerful in 2 different ways. So in the cool way is it allows you to create your own custom dimensions. So you can create whatever dimensions you want with like customized sky color and terrain and structures, and like you can really define what your dimensions look like. And it's a fun mod to play with in that respect. The powerful part comes from it is you can define how the dimension is composed, and you can specify certain blocks that are going to be used. Now, there's a mechanic that I haven't played too much with, which is the dimensional engine stuff, which comes from mob drops. But I think we'll be able to figure that out as we go. If I remember, it's not too bad. But the gist is, we could, in theory, create a dimension that's just full of uranium blocks, right? That could be cool. So just tons of uranium ore. Or we could create a dimension, with lakes of acid. Like, there's all kinds of stuff we could do. So I want to start playing with RF Tools dimensions and decide how it goes, right? That's my thought for now. So let's get into RF Tools dimensions and see what can be seen. So not just another mining dimension, but what we want is a dimension builder, right? We're going to probably want a bunch of these machine things. So we're going to want a dimension builder, that's for sure. We need one of them. We need an empty dimension tab. We're definitely going to want one of those for a bit from now. We're going to want a dimension editor, I think. I feel like there's more blocks than that. We're going to want an inscriber. Do I remember what that's all about? I don't really remember. Inscriber, you need empty dimlets. I'm just going to make all the machines, and then it'll start coming back to me, and if I have to Google, I have to Google. Dimlet workbench, so I should probably add, because I'm noticing a pattern here, of empty dimlets as a recipe, and I should also add the empty dimension tab as a pattern. And is there anything else I really need? I don't know. We'll find out. What I need is more room in the thing. So that's cool. Okay, so I got an inscriber. We needed the dimlet workbench, which do we not know how to make paper? How do we not have a recipe for paper? Dyer, please. We do now. Okay, let's try that again. So dimensional workbench. And knowledge holder. That seems cool. And researcher. I kind of forget what that's all about, but we'll figure it out together. Okay, that's probably good enough to get started. So RF Tools Dimensions is all about making your own dimensions. You can customize them, or you can let them be completely randomly generated. We're going to start with a couple completely randomly generated ones, see what we get, and then from there might, branch out into some cooler, specialer stuff. So let's get ourselves like a little corner of our room to go live in. I'm going to want my mining laser. Where are you, laser? There you are. Yoinks. And let's boop this guy up to a 7x7. Does that sound cool? And like right into the wall here. That would be good. Yeah, I can absolutely squeeze in here. A nice little entryway. I don't think we need like too much craziness, but we'll find out. And that should be good for that. And then building gadget my way into surface moding that, I think. Yeah, that should be fine. Beautiful. Much cleaner. All right, so let's start with all these machines. We're definitely going to want ultimate energy cables because early on, some of the more basic dimensional stuff ain't going to be too crazy in terms of power requirements, but later on, they get very crazy. Okay, so be aware of that. And there's probably going to be a bunch of things that we're going to want to put down here. So I'm going to expand this out a little bit further, and then we'll throw a nice little flux point in the corner. We'll use an existing one. That's cool. Yoinks, power up. All right, nice. Looking good. So let's start with a dimension builder. I'm going to throw that here because I'm pretty sure this is the one that we take a dimension and it receives power. So dimensions need to be powered. If you don't power them, they break down. And if you go to a dimension without power, don't do that. Okay. Then there's the dimension editor, which looks cool. the inscriber. I might want editor after inscriber. Let's see, inscriber. Yeah, we definitely want the inscriber first. Dimlet workbench, that's a cool guy. Knowledge holder, also cool. And researcher. Looks good to me. And we'll figure out, you know, what else has to happen here. But that's a good start, I think. So let's start by making like a totally random dimension. See what it looks like. Dyer's first dim. Okay. Do I have to actually do anything for this? Everything appears to be right. Oh, only lowercase and no special characters. Dyer's first dim. Does that sound cool? All right, now I can store it. Cool. So in this screen is where we would customize this dimension. And I'll explain how that works for those of you who've not worked with this mod too much before. But the gist is we can use these things that we get as drops from Enderman, or we can craft in these blocks here, like the Dimlet workbench and the knowledge holder. These things are a way to make these, they're called dimlets. And dimlets are attributes for the dimension. So this is a biome dimlet, for example, and it's a grove biome. This is a biome for snowy slopes. This is a biome for sparse jungle. So if you wanted to build a dimension that was the sparse jungle biome or had a sparse jungle biome, you would use this dimlet when you're making your dimension over here. Okay. There's sky. So if you wanted the sky in your custom dimension to look like the end, you could do that. If you wanted to look like stars, you could do that. Structure dimlets, ruined portals. So if you want ruined portals appearing in your dimension, you could do that. There's all kinds of things, right? And then there's tag dimlets, which looks cool, block dimlets. So like if you wanted light blue plastic barriers to be what the world is made out of, you could do that. If you wanted to make a world made out of wool, you could do that. These are all things you can do. It's super fun. It's super neat. Like all kinds of crazy, ridiculous stuff that you can have, right? And we'll check it all out. Now, the other thing you get are knowledge fragments. So these common knowledge fragments are and unknown and rare. These guys are all dropped from Enderman, or you can combine them together. 9 becomes the next tier, right? So it goes common, uncommon, rare, and then epic, or legendary, which we don't have any of. And I think do you put those in the researcher? Is that what happens? I want to say. And then once you research it, you get this dude. This can be used in a knowledge held to help with creating dimlets. Okay, cool. Yeah. And then these are common blocks, so they'll unlock certain things. So I think I put them in the knowledge holder. And then now, because they're in there and it's adjacent to a dimlet workbench, the things that are in that are available to be made. So for example, these are common blocks, reason glow panels, and these are common blocks mineable with a paxel. So if I put this in there, it will now have all the blocks that are mineable with a paxel, right? And we could search for it. So like if we looked for uranium blocks, right, that's how we would get that, right? And if we wanted some kind of quartz, there's lots of different types of quartz, right? We could absolutely get that. So that's cool. So that's the gist of it. So I'll talk about how to use this block because it's a little complicated, but not terrible, pretty shortly. Okay, so yeah, so you're all good here. Dimension editor. Yeah, I don't think we need that really too often. So let's get ready to make our first dimension. So again, Dyer's first dim. We're going to store that with no attributes whatsoever. Means we'll get a totally randomized dimension. So I have no idea what this dimension is going to look like, but we're here. Now the other thing to note is whenever you're making dimensions, if they have the exact same attributes defined, they're going to point to the exact same dimension. If you want to change different dimensions, so like if you just had like biome and jungle, right? That would create a dimension with the jungle biome. If you make another one that's exactly biome and jungle, it's going to point to that same first dimension that you created. It's not going to make a new one for biome jungle. But there's digit dimlets that only serve to be modifiers, and you can insert as many as you want. So if I did biome jungle digit 0, that would create a new dimension. And then if I did biome jungle digit 1, that would create another new dimension. But let's start with this one, right? So first things first, we have to power it, and we throw that in there. He's going to start receiving power, and you'll see dimension progress building up. And depending on how complex the dimension is, you're going to get a creation cost and a maintenance cost. And that's basically how much it costs to keep the dimension up and running. And then there's current power. So the dimension has like a big buffer of power. It'll keep that power, and whenever there's somebody in or active in the dimension, it'll consume that power. So just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing we're going to need to do is get transporters from RF Tools. So we're going to want a dialer device, and we're going to want a transmitter, matter transmitter. One more machine frame for the matter transmitter. Cool. And these guys are going to be how we go to where we want to go. Okay, so both of them require power. Okay, the transmitter, when you step on it, if it's active, will teleport you to the destination that you choose in the whatchamacallit, in the, yeah, there you go, in here. So let's get more ultimate dudes, and then you can run from here. And that should be cool. And then I'll tidy up the floor and the wall, all that stuff in a minute. But the gist is now, you're getting power, you've got power. I'm going to name this Dimensional Room, right? That's the name of this transmitter now. And I really think I only have one transmitter in this world. So if I come over here, we'll see that the top is the list of all the transmitters that exist. So I can configure and say, hey, take the Dimensional Room transmitter and connect to home base, for example. And that's the receiver that's up here, the one that I always teleport to and have been all series, right? Alternatively, I can link this guy to Dyer's First DIM. Every time you make a dimension, it automatically adds a matter receiver in that dimension for you. So now I'm going to step through and hope the game doesn't crash. That's always my concern. Oh my goodness, we're falling. But okay, no, we're cool. Hey, look at that. Oh, neat. Is there like oh, that's cool. Does the dimension like get a thing? Oh, that's pretty nifty. Glass panes, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, cool. So the matter receiver is here. It's named Dyer's First DIM. The only thing to note is it comes full of power, but you need to power it in order to get to it safely. So we should go underground here and give it some power. So I'm going to get a flux point. Did I get like 10 of you or something real quick? We're low on flux dust. What if I got like 5? Seems groovy. Okay, so giving that guy some power will maintain that. Every time you teleport to it, it's going to use a little bit of power. And if it ever runs out of power and then you teleport to it, it's going to be a bad thing for you to, so don't do that either. Okay, so let's go explore this wacky dimension that we just ran into. So a couple things to note. One is that in these dimensions, there's going to be common blobs. And the tier of blob that is generated is dependent upon, I guess, the complexity of the dimension. Oh, you are not my dude. My goodness, everybody's just ready to kill Dyer, isn't they? Where's my bow and arrow? Where's my arrow, dude? You go in there. There he is. Cool. So I think the complexity of the dimension determines what type of mobs can spawn in here. And this is where you get that essence stuff. And higher tier blobs equal more health, equal, you know, be ready to hit them a lot. Right? So now I've got rare dimensional essence, right? And I could absolutely capture these in mob imprisonment tools. So why don't I consider that? 1, 2. And I'll make sure to get one of these and one of these so that we have each type of blob ready to be spawned in our spawner back at home. Is that cool? So we're currently in an old growth taiga biome. I have no idea what world gen structure this is because there's definitely some kind of like weird. That might be Sky Islands or something like that. I don't honestly know. There's definitely some cubes that are made out of dimensional pattern 2 blocks. Is there anything inside them? Sometimes there's liquid inside. Maybe not. Where'd my mining laser go? I'm just gonna... Nope, they look to be solid filled cubes of whatever that stuff is. So that's neat. Oh my goodness. Dimensional pattern 2 blocks. Told you have no idea what you're going to get when you could totally randomize a dimension like this. What is down here? What in the world are you? This is Iron Hayden? Find a foundry. Oh, this might be a modded foundry. So I don't know if that's... Yeah, that's from that whatchamacallit mod, right? Yeah. That's cool. Look at how cool this is. Burrito. Oh boy. Debris miner. Haha, that's cool. Alright, anyway. I don't want to get trapped in this place because I will get lost very quickly. And always bring your teleport home thing. Because if you don't have one of those, you're stuck in this dimension until you can make yourself a matter transmitter. And RF to power it. And a few other things. So, make sure you have a way home. Always validate that. What else is in this dimension? Anything else that's kind of coolish? Definitely some of those meteorites happened. Very cool all around. The other main thing that you'll find in any and all dimensions, and it's a little bit hard to find because of... Look at you. Are you guys just like two that are like eating into each other? Yeah, I guess so. Haha, that's cool. I'm just going to trash these things, by the way. That's neat, though. There's structures where you can find dimlets and things. Oh, what's down here? Is this an abandoned mine shaft or something? Some weird sounds. I don't know what this structure is, but it's a weird structure. That's all I can say. Yeah. Wacky. Dimension's gonna be wacky. That's all I can tell you guys. Where is my entry point? Because I thought I saw the thing I wanted to show you guys near it. Man, this place is just weird. Isn't this place just weird? Just a little bit weird. Where was my entry point? It was up higher somewhere. I can always teleport home and come back. Or I can just try to find what I'm looking for. Another example of them. They don't stand out as well in this one because of these. Alright, let's do this. Let's go home. Right back through. The thing I was looking for, there was an example of it. I know I saw, right? I'm not crazy? Oh, don't answer that. I might be. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. One of these guys. So this building, you will find generated frequently in here. And in this building, looks like it's just looter chests now. And you'll get some dimlets and some knowledge. So if you're not farming Enderman like I am, this is an approach to getting some of those. But I think with the Enderman farm and the frequency with which I'm getting them, it's probably going to be better to just let the Enderman farm do it. The good news, though, is we've got 2 of the 3 types of essence, right? Why can't I move? That's weird. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've got 2 of the 3 types of essence that we need. And again, the complexity of the dimension determines the type of mob that's going to spawn. So this one's complex enough to get us both commons and rares. If we want legendaries, we're going to need... look at this. You got chains coming all down here. That's cool. That's wild. I don't even know what's causing that. I was saying words and I forgot them all. What's this? Oh, it's a geode. Ah, that's cool. That's cool. What are you? What's this little dungeon thing? Oh, it's like a vanilla dungeon. Look at that. That's cool too. That's neat. Right? And look at all the loots and stuff. All kinds of loots. My time in a bottle that I put away. Yep, don't lose that. Dire. Sweet. I don't even know what this stuff is. I'm not even looking at it. I'm just grabbing it and throwing it in the A system, because that's what I do. Alright, so that's enough wandering and derping around in a random dimension. Let's look at making, like, one that we want. Deal. Like I said, this mod can get pretty in-depth. So let's take a look at dimlets. And so, like, I have the Sky End dimlet, and I have the Deep Ocean dimlet. So you'll note that there's, like, little things on there, right? See, on the tooltip, it has these, like, lightning bolts. Now, this Forge Glass dimlet has more advanced version of those things. So let's put them in my hotbar here so you can just kind of see. So this is a tier 1, and this is a tier 2. If we look at dim here, you'll notice that there's 1 common energy module, 2 uncommon, 3 rare, and 4 legendary energy modules. So 4 tiers of energy module and 4 tiers of memory module. Whenever you're going to craft your own custom dimlet using the dimlet workbench, you're going to need a dimlet type. So you're saying, like, it's either like a biome dimlet or like a block dimlet. Then you need the memory and energy modules, which are basically equivalent to the rarity, right? So the more complex the thing you're trying to make, the higher those might be. And then you need an item that represents actually that stuff. So, like, in order to get the savanna biome, we would need, it looks like sandstone, is that right? And then for glass, we would need a piece of glass, okay? And this one also looks like he needs some of that green goo stuff. Now, are these craftable? So they are. So that's cool. So we can make this, and then we can make this, and then we can make this and this. So notice that, like, the common one doesn't require any of those drops. The uncommon one requires common dimensionals. The rare ones require rare dimensionals. And then finally, the legendary ones require legendary dimensionals. So it's like a tier-up system. And I'm guessing the memory is exactly the same way. Yep, confirmed. So if you want to get legendary dimensional essence, in order to get legendary dimensional modules, you're going to have to build a dimension that's complex enough to spawn legendary dimensional blobs. Does that make sense? I hope so, because I said a lot of words there. But I think it's pretty cool. So let's make, like, so, like, what I want is uranium, but I don't want uranium blocks. I want uranium ore. So like, let's research some uncommons. And I think we can also, what's my dimensional shard stuff looking like? Are you just like, do I only have 512 because reasons or like good reasons? Where's my dimensional shards? They're up here and they are not upgraded, so let's upgrade them. Boop. So now you can have more than 512 dimensional shard ore. Do we have dimensional shard ore in this guy? I don't see it necessarily. So what I wouldn't mind doing is having my digital miner see if there's any dimensional shard ore here. And if there's not, that's okay. So config, new filter, tag, forge ores, dimensional shard ore. That can't be right. No, I didn't think so. Dimensional shard ore. If we F3H, we can see what tags are on it, I think. Dimensional shard. Forge ores. Dimensional underscore shard. Forge ores dimensional underscore shard. I was close, actually. Forge ores dimensional underscore shard. Cool. And that'll cycle between all those. So let's turn off uranium for a sec and see what you got. Anything nearby? Yeah, 40. Cool. Perfect. And then I should have no problem dimensional shard oring this dude. Nice. Loving it. Okay, so now that you're good, I can take this uncommon lost knowledge. There's a thing from RF Tools, infuser. Is that what it's called? Machine infuser? Yeah, I want one of those, please. Machine infusers are cool. What they do is they make your machines better. And it's always kind of like now's about the time to mess with this. So I am actually going to go ahead and put the ultimate universal cable. And then my machine infuser. So you can insert dimensional shard ore and a machine, and what it'll do is it'll infuse the machine into the block. And it's roughly 4 stacks will yield the best result. And you can totally accelerate this process if you, like me, are impatient. Right, so 2 stacks got me to 50% infused, 3 stacks gets me to 75% infused, 4 stacks gets me to 100% infused. It makes the machine faster, and sometimes more efficient and better. So like if I put this in here now, notice how much fast, like it started at 50%. So it's like twice as fast. I feel like one of these machines was like super useful to infuse. I don't know which one. We'll just stick with it. It might have been this one. There was one where it's like you really wanted to do it, but now I'm like, maybe not. Okay. Now you'll notice these guys stacked because they happen to be uncommon blocks for Paxels, right? So did that get me uranium? So that got me uranium ore. Cool. And that's going to require 5 of these guys, which we have easy access to. So that's pretty sweet. So I think what I just need then is block dimlet. So I need a block dimlet. Is that right? Empty block dimlet. Pretty sure that's what I'm going to need. And I'm pretty sure that goes in the top left here. Okay. And then we're going to need uranium ore. So we're going to need the tier 2 version of those things, right? Now, can I like still break down these things? I forget. I thought there was a way. Isn't there a way to like break them down and get those pieces out of them? Am I forgetting that? Dimensional editor, knowledge holder. Can you go in here? You can. Tag dimlet for glass. I think that's gonna like make it. Do I have one that I've like? So this is the sky end dimlet. Extreme hill. That could come out. Deep ocean. I don't like that one too. Dimlet key waves. What happens if I research that? So that just gives me a common knowledge with common terrain. Okay, so that makes sense. And now I have some terrain dudes, like flat, maze, wave. Okay, so if you want like a flat dimension, you can totally get that through that. Thinking. I thought there was a way. There was a block that would like let me get these out of existing dimlets. I don't know if that exists anymore though. Maybe that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe you have to craft these now. Shouldn't be a problem though. Because all I need is this. And then upgrade them to this. And then I need the memory module, which is this. And upgrade them to that. Okay. So in order to make this uranium ore block, we need the empty block dimlet, the memory module, and the energy module. And then we need the 5 of these guys. Joink. And then we need some shard ore times 3. Uranium ore is what I'm after here. Boop, boop, boop. And then finally we need a bunch of uranium ore blocks. And to get those, it's from the dimensional block absorber. Okay? So to get a block absorber, we're going to need a sponge. Do we have sponges? No. But we should be able to make slime blocks, right? How do I get sponges? Sponges. Sponge bees can make sponges. Okay. I'm assuming sponges, mob drops, elder guardians can drop them. So do we have like wet sponges? We do actually have a wet sponge. And then I can smelt that to get a dry sponge. We have a smelter here, right? Yep. Hooray. Cool. So then I can get a block absorber. And then we need a bunch of uranium ore. So that's going to be you again, my friend. Okay. config uranium ore back on, and go. Okay, and what happens is we place down some uranium ore in the world. And then we place the block absorber on top of it. Isn't that all there is to it? Do I need a lever, like a redstone signal? I might. I thought that's all there was to it. Maybe you don't like that you're deep slate uranium? Maybe you need to be regular uranium? That's possible. Do you have any regular uranium? Because there is regular uranium ore, right? Yes, there is. Okay. I think we just have to be patient. I'll come back in a sec. We're pretty close to wrapping up point here, so maybe we'll do this next episode. Let's do that. Next episode, we'll come back, and we'll do this, right? I should hopefully have uranium ore, regular kind. If I don't, I'll go find some. And then when we come back, we'll figure out how to use this block absorber to absorb blocks. So, his progress is 100%? Why is his progress 100%? I wonder if that's a bug. Block not set. Huh, weird. Definitely want to try it with, like, regular uranium. Oh well, I'll figure it out. Wrapping up point. Delta20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time and get this thing working one way or another. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. More dimensions next episode. For now, take it easy.